You pick up your phone for 1 second, just 1 second, and then you look up and 20 minutes are gone. You didn't decide to spend 20 minutes scrolling, you didn't plan it. Your thumb just kept moving and your brain just kept watching, and somewhere in between, time disappeared. That's not a personal failure. That's a trap. And it was designed specifically for a brain like yours. To understand why you can't stop scrolling, you have to understand what your brain was built to do. Not what it does now, what it was built for. Because your brain is not a modern device. It is ancient hardware running in a world it was never designed for. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors lived in a state of constant uncertainty. Every rustle in the grass could be a predator. Every stranger approaching from the tree line could be a threat or an ally. Every piece of new information could be the difference between surviving the night and not. So your brain evolved to be obsessed with novelty, with what's new, with what just changed. Because in that ancient world, anything new deserved your immediate attention. Anything new could save your life. Neuroscientist Kent Berridge at the University of Michigan spent decades studying the brain's reward system and found something that changes everything about how you understand desire. He discovered that the feeling of wanting something and the feeling of enjoying something are controlled by two completely separate systems in the brain. Wanting is driven by dopamine. Enjoying is driven by opioids. And here is the critical part. Dopamine does not make you feel pleasure. Dopamine makes you feel anticipation. It makes you feel the urge to seek. It is the engine of craving, not satisfaction. And it never turns off on its own. This is why you keep scrolling even when nothing on your screen is making you happy. You are not scrolling because you are enjoying it. You are scrolling because your dopamine system is convinced that the next post, the next video, the next notification might be the thing worth seeing. Your brain is hunting. It just can't find anything to actually catch. Now take that ancient, novelty-hungry, dopamine-driven brain and hand it a device that generates infinite new content every single second. New faces, new sounds, new outrage, new joy, new information, endless novelty. Your brain was never meant to handle this. It has no off switch for an environment like this because an environment like this never existed before. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered in the 1950s that the most powerful way to keep any animal performing a behavior is something called a variable reward schedule. You don't give a reward every time. You give it sometimes. Randomly. Unpredictably. A rat that gets a food pellet every time it presses a lever will press it steadily. But a rat that gets a food pellet only sometimes, randomly, will press that lever compulsively, obsessively, without stopping. Because maybe this time is the time. Maybe this press is the one. That is exactly what your phone is doing to you. Every scroll is a lever press. Most of the time, nothing. But sometimes, something that makes your brain light up. And that randomness, that unpredictability, is what makes it impossible to stop. The engineers who built these platforms know this. They have known it for years. Former president of Facebook, Sean Parker, admitted publicly that the platform was built specifically to exploit a vulnerability in human psychology. His words, not yours, not mine. A vulnerability. They built the like button, the infinite scroll, the autoplay, the notification badge. All of it specifically to trigger your dopamine system. Specifically to keep your ancient, seeking brain in a state of permanent, unresolvable wanting. And here is what that is costing you. Not in abstract terms. In real, measurable ones. A study published in the journal Computers in Human Behavior found that the more time people spent on social media, the higher their reported levels of loneliness and depression, even when they were using social media specifically to connect with other people. You are reaching for your phone because you feel lonely, and your phone is making you lonelier. You are reaching for it because you feel anxious, and it is making you more anxious. The thing you are using to escape the discomfort is the thing deepening the discomfort. Researcher Gloria Mark at the University of California, Irvine, found that after being interrupted by a notification or a distraction, the average person takes 23 minutes to return to deep, focused thought. 23 minutes. And most people check their phones dozens of times a day, which means most people are never, at any point in the day, operating at the level of focus their brain is actually capable of. You are living in the shallows of your own mind, and you have been there so long, you have forgotten what the deep end feels like. So what do you actually do about it? Because knowing the trap is not the same as getting out of it. The first thing to understand is that willpower is the wrong tool. Your brain is not malfunctioning when it reaches for your phone. It is functioning exactly as designed, responding exactly as evolution built it to respond. You cannot out-discipline a system that has been running for 100,000 years. You need to change the environment, not just the intention. Start with friction. The reason your phone is so effective is that it is frictionless. It is always there. It is always on. It is always one thumb movement away. Research by behavioral economist B.J. Fogg at Stanford shows that adding even tiny amounts of friction to a behavior can dramatically reduce how often you do it. Put your phone in another room. Turn off notifications. Make it harder to start. Make the default state of your day one, where your phone is not immediately accessible. You are not fighting your brain. You are just slightly inconveniencing it. Then replace the loop, not just stop it. Your brain is not going to stop seeking novelty because you decided it should. It needs somewhere to seek. Go outside and let your eyes adjust to a horizon rather than a screen. Talk to someone face to face, where your brain gets the full complexity of a human signal, not the flattened version that a screen delivers. Read something long and difficult enough that your attention has to stretch. You are not suppressing the seeking drive. You are giving it something real to find. And pay attention to how you feel after you scroll versus after you do something else. Not during, after. Because during scrolling, your dopamine system keeps you convinced that the next thing might be good. But after, the crash is always there. The empty, slightly hollow feeling that tells you that you have been hunting for an hour and caught nothing. That feeling is data. Use it. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is ancient and brilliant, and it is doing exactly what it was designed to do in a world that has weaponized that design against you. The scroll is not a habit. It is a trap built for the oldest part of your mind. And now that you see the trap, you cannot unsee it. Pick up your phone for 1 second. Just 1 second. And this time, notice the pull. Notice the wanting. Notice that the wanting and the enjoying are not the same thing. That moment of noticing is the first second you have been truly free of it.